Hey guys, so I just got back from the theater from seeing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Um, a movie that I was actually looking forward to, especially after the shit I had to sit for Sat on Friday. Um, I didn't quit doing movie reviews like I did after watching back on a strip after I watched not another church movie. Some reason I'm back doing this shit again, but this is also talking about a movie I was actually looking forward to, so what the hell, why not? So, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now, I had to sit and think about this because I've been doing these reviews for so goddamn long. I was like, have I reviewed or talked about any of the Planet of the Apes movies? And I thought about it, and like, oh yeah, I have. I've talked about the last two, uh, Dawn and War for the Planet of the Apes. I reviewed her on my channel. I've been doing reviews for so fucking long. It's like I go, oh yeah, I did a review for this one of the movies like 10 fucking years ago. Holy shit! Um, I really have enjoyed the hell out of the rebooted trilogy of the Planet of the Apes. I think they've been really great movies. They were really great movies. I will not lie. I never grew up a big fan of the Planet of the Apes movies. I never hated them. I just never was a diehard fan of them. But I can appreciate them as a movie, as a movie. And like it wasn't until like the recent Planet of the Apes movies that I really grew to love these movies. So I was excited about a new one. I was like, I didn't even know. I like the trilogy kind of like concluded the story really well enough that I was like, I figured there was going to be no more movies. Fucking foolish me. I think if I remember right, it was Disney. Like when Disney 20th Century Fox were like, yeah, we're gonna continue this series. I'm like, all right, fuck, why not? And I like when I first heard about this, I was like, really, Rick and Darth Planet of the Apes, really? Like it's a continuation of the other movies. Okay, cool. I was like, cool. I was like, I'm fine with that. And I see the previews; it looks pretty good. And yeah, it's a pretty damn good movie. Um, I, s- I still think I kind of I'm still trying to figure out like where I rank this. I like the other ones just a bit better. I think the other ones were better, but this is a nice continuation of the stories, and honestly, this is setting up its own kind of franchise or probably another trilogy, and that's pretty much what this movie's goal is. Um, and I enjoy the hell out of it. I give them a lot of credit. There's a lot of really unknown name actors in this movie, except probably two people. Um, that like I did not recognize one fucking bit. I was like when I heard the main kid's voice, Owen Teague is his name. I was like, who the fuck is that? Like, obviously when you're coming off a trilogy that featured a all-time great like star-making performance by Andy Serkis, you have big shoes to fill. I thought the kid did fine. His character of Noah is really well likable character. Is not just the exact same character as Caesar was. Um, he's just kind of this character that is generations away. Somebody said it's like 300 years. This movie takes place 300 years after the last movie, and so the story of what Caesar is kind of now just legend and stuff that's told as legend, and that pretty much anybody who existed during that time or lived during that time is gone. So even though it's kind of funny that this movie literally opens how the last movie ended, where it shows a funeral pyre for Caesar, and that's the only, I guess, cameo of Andy Serkis. Even though he doesn't say anything because he's dead. Um, and I'm sure it probably wasn't Andy Serkis. I guarantee it wasn't Andy. Like they didn't just fucking have him just lay there dead for like. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. Because he's Andy fucking Serkis, but he's a well liked actor. Um, but yeah, they do that. They show that scene where, this is nuts. So they do that scene where they show the funeral pyre after he dies, and they show some of the original apes from the other franchise, and then it cuts to black and goes many generations later, and like that was the only scene that pretty much had anything to do with the other trilogy. You're like, all right. I mean, it does reference like events from the other trilogy, and like but like I was like, all right. And so this movie kind of like feels like the world that was set up in the original movie. Like you're now seeing the world as it was in the original movie for the most part. Where apes rule the world and they have like their own clans and all that shit like that. And humans are just basically mutes and barely living and sometimes hunted and made slaves by apes. Even though it doesn't really just flat out remake the original, so like that, I give them credit. That's one thing I give the movie a lot of credit is that like these movies a lot of credit is like they went their own direction with these movies, and then just flat out remake the original because well we have seen it before. It didn't work out well the first time, so I don't think I'll get back to that in a second. While I say that, I'll get back to that a little bit later. So yeah, I like the main character of this movie. I like the Noah. I the effects are still really fucking good. Still really good. Um, I like yeah, there's sometimes you'd see like a character uh that maybe would be but that's always been with this franchise, especially the original, the first Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It is kind of cool to see like how this the visual effects have fucking grown from the first Rise of the Planet of the Apes because like they have got a lot fucking better than the first time they tried this, and it's definitely shown. And it definitely shows in this. It like has a lot of the same models, but it still looks really really impressive. Um, and like I part of me is like I kind of go back and forth which I prefer the original make the apes or humans in makeup and all that stuff like that, or the CGI. And I feel like you could go back and forth about this because this shit does look pretty impressive. Like this is what visual effects can do. Damn, or that's pretty fucking. It looks really good. Um, the story, like I said, it was interesting. I was interested in where the hell it was going. Like like that Kevin Durand, and that's a funny fucking name. The character ape ruler that you see in the trailer, prevalent in the trailer, really don't meet until like an hour and a half into this movie. Like, there's a good chunk that has nothing to do with this movie that has nothing to do with him. It is like till the very final act that you really, he becomes a villain. He's really great as a villain in this movie. Um, this ape who kind of takes Caesar's teachings and kind of twist them around into like his so that he is like king or whatever and yada yada yada, and it justifies the shit that he does. Um, and I like that. Like I said, it was pretty fun. Like it's like something that would obviously happen, like with people that were not alive during that time, but just fucking twist shit around and to their liking and everything else like that. It makes a lot of fucking sense. I didn't know anybody with their hands raised. Did anybody know that fucking? I didn't had no idea that William H Macy is in this movie. When he popped up in this movie, I said, "Holy shit, William H Macy!" And like he's a human in this movie, he's not an ape. But I'm like, Frank's in this movie. Cool. Frank Gallagher's in this movie. Cool. I love William H. Macy. Uh, he's not in it very long, but he's still really fun in it. Um, for the short time he was in it, I was really like, there are a lot of characters. I'll say this about this movie: there are a lot of characters that you think are going to be like main characters, including one that's actually on the poster. Um, who are going to be a big part of this movie, and then they just disappear. I'm not going to say what happens to them, but they just fuck off, and they're like, "Huh, like that's weird." I was like, I like that. Like, it makes it kind of a little bit unpredictable on which characters will be around and what sort won't. Um, there is one thing I am a little bit worried about. It's the end of this movie. So the movie, as like I figured this movie would end on like a kind of a cliffhanger because I've been told that they're going to work on a new trilogy and something to set up. They're going to put something at the end to kind of set us up for what's to come. Like what could and it like it was moving along. Like okay, cool. Like all right, I like this. It's like okay, there's some room where you could establish where they could go with this for future movies. And I'm like, all right, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting. Then there's a part at the end of this movie that made me go, "Oh no, they're not doing this. Please, love God, don't." I can get the spoilers a little bit. It's kind of spoiling, but not really. There's a part at the end of the movie where they characters are staring up in a telescope up at the sky, and they look up at the sky like they keep focusing on looking at the sky like amazed by something, but you don't see it. And I went, "Oh no!" I was like, "They're not." So they didn't. They didn't flat out, but I'm still worried. I was like, "They're not gonna just now flat out remake the original." After I just fucking sat here and praised them, like they kind of are hinting at that. Ah, shit. It's like the plot of the original is going to happen now. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Don't go that route. Why fucking just do your own fucking thing? Make this your own thing. Like why not? I know these sequels do kind of borrow heavily from other previous sequels, but not like they're still their own goddamn thing. Like I said, don't remake it. Just ask Tim Burton for fuck's sake, or Marky Mark. Yeah, I like this movie a lot. I really did. It's a B. That's solid. Definitely a B. Um, really like this movie. Go see it. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It's a lot better than not another church movie. Um, put that on your box cover. That's like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Better than not another church movie. So yeah, thumbs up to that. This weekend we got The Strangers Chapter One, If, and Back to Black. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later.